All right, let's talk about the year 2026, because by then, AI isn't just some cool experiment anymore. Nope, it's become a reality, and it's touching, well, pretty much everything. But what does that actually look like? Let's get into it.
So, let me start by asking you something pretty personal. When you're scrolling through your feed, watching the news, you see that viral clip everyone's talking about. Can you actually, honestly trust what you're seeing? Yeah, because according to the latest research, the answer is probably not. I mean, check this out. The AI company Runway did a little test. They showed people a bunch of short videos. Some were real, some were AI made. And the results? People could barely tell the difference. They were only slightly more accurate than just flipping a coin. Let that sink in for a second. AI video has basically crossed that line where it's believable. And that right there is why you're hearing so much noise about watermarks and clear labeling. It's getting super urgent. So, when a technology can mess with our reality that easily, what happens? Well, society has to scramble to catch up, right? And that brings us to our first big topic, writing the AI rulebook. Okay, so there is a massive fight brewing over the future of the internet itself, and it feels like the UK is the main event. In one quarter, you've got the publishers, the people who actually create all the stuff we read online. They need credit, they need traffic to their sites, and, they need to get paid to keep the lights on. But in the other corner, you've got Google's AI overviews. Their goal is to give you an answer right then and there and keep you on Google. And guess what's happening? Publisher traffic is tanking. So now the UK's competition authority is jumping in with a pretty wild idea. What if publishers could just say, no thanks, and opt out? This isn't just about a few clicks, folks. This is a battle that could totally redefine how content gets made and paid for a long time.
And this whole situation just goes to show you how ridiculously hard it is to write these new rules. I mean, take a look at Colorado. They were one of the first in the US to pass a big, comprehensive AI law. It was supposed to kick in early 2026. But they've already had to hit the brakes and delay it. And why? Well, because these laws have to deal with some seriously tricky stuff, like making sure AI isn't discriminating against people in really high-stakes situations. It turns out giving everyone, businesses and regulators, enough time to get this right is a slow, messy, complicated process. Okay, but the rules are only half the picture, right? Behind every single one of these algorithms is a gigantic physical machine. Which brings us to part two, powering the AI engine. Because all this digital magic, it has a massive real-world cost. $4 billion. Just think about that number for a second. What in the world could possibly cost $4 billion in this AI race? The answer? Power plants. That's right, $4 billion is the price tag for a whole fleet of gas-fired power plants that an energy company called Vistra is buying up. And we're not talking about some plan for 10 years from now. This is to meet the absolutely insane energy demands of AI data centers that are happening today. The strain on our power grids is getting so intense, we're literally seeing huge new investments in old-school fossil fuels just to keep the AI running. And what's eating up all that energy? It's the hardware. This is the new arms race, but it's fought with silicon chips. For a while now, the US has been trying to stop China from getting its hands on the most powerful AI chips, but it looks like that's changing. The Chinese company DeepSeek seems to be getting the green light to buy NVIDIA's absolute top-of-the-line H200 chips. And this isn't just a little upgrade. It's like going from a propeller plane to a jet engine. It's a massive leap in power that will let them build way more complex AI models. The global race for the best hardware is definitely heating up. So we've got the rules being written, we've got the power plants firing up. Now for part three. AI is now everywhere. It's not locked away in some data center anymore. It's weaving itself into the fabric of business in our everyday lives. Just look at the world of advertising. A new report from StackAdapt shows this huge gap opening up between the winners and the losers. Get this, 75% of marketers who are actually using AI in a smart, practical way are crushing their competition. And the other 25%? They're falling behind fast. See, it's not a gimmick anymore. It's a straight-up competitive necessity. And you see this tension playing out everywhere. Take the music industry. On one hand, AI is this cool, simple tool that helps real artists make music. But on the other hand, it's also being used to create completely fake AI-generated artists that are just clogging up streaming platforms. It's the perfect example of how this technology is a double-edged sword. It's an incredible tool, but it can also be a source of, well, total fakeness. And it's not just what AI is doing, it's how it's doing it. The whole process is getting smarter.
It used to be that you'd have one giant AI model and you just throw a whole document at it and cross your fingers, hoping it would understand everything. The new way, the 2026 way, is way more like a specialist assembly line. A document comes in and it gets broken down into its different parts. Text here, tables there, images over here. Then, each little piece gets sent to a specialized AI that's an expert at just that one thing. The result? It's faster, it's cheaper, and it's a whole lot more accurate.
And speaking of things getting bigger, how about this number? Over 700.
What's that? Well, that's the number of generative AI models that have gone through the official filing process in China. And this isn't just a big number for the sake of a big number. It shows you just how deeply and how quickly AI is being woven into their entire economy. We're talking about everything from powering online stores for farmers in the countryside to providing remote medical advice. The speed of real-world adoption there is just mind-blowing.
All right, so let's take a step back and pull all of this together. It's time for our 2026 reality check. So here's the bottom line, the big takeaway. We've hit a turning point. First, AI-generated stuff is now so real it's fooling us. Because of that, society is in this mad scramble to put up some guardrails and rules. At the same time, the real-world cost, the physical buildings, the massive energy bills, is skyrocketing. And maybe most importantly, AI isn't the next big thing anymore. It's the thing. It's a core tool for business, and it's a reality we're all living in now. And hey, just when we're getting our heads wrapped around all of that, the next revolution is already knocking on the door. IBM is predicting that 2026 will be the year that a quantum computer will actually beat a regular, classical computer at a useful task for the first time. This isn't just a little speed bump. This is a whole new paradigm that could pour rocket fuel on AI in ways we can't even begin to imagine yet. And that really brings us to our final thought for today. We've seen how AI is becoming powerful enough to run our biggest industries, to power our grids, to shape our economies. But as it gets everywhere, we have to stop and ask a really important question. Is it thoughtful enough for our most vulnerable people? I mean, as AI starts showing up in special education classrooms, can it really deliver the kind of personalized, human-first care that those students not only deserve but are legally entitled to? That right there is the big question for 2026, and for all the years to come.